Thank you, and good evening. It's an honor for me to be here tonight to present, on behalf of my family, Research America's 2019 Isadore Rosenfeld Award for Impact on Public Opinion to Dr. Siddhartha Mukherjee, physician, oncologist, and author. As most of you know, the Rosenfeld Award is presented to individuals who have worked to effectively deliver medical or other health-related research advocacy messages to the public. Like my father, Dr. Mukherjee has produced incredible, best-selling books that help explain complicated ideas about medicine to the general public through the power of storytelling. His Pulitzer Prize-winning book, The Emperor of All Maladies, brings history into the present with its exploration of the diagnosis and treatment of cancers. And his most recent book, The Gene, An Intimate History, looks at the history of the gene and genetic research from Aristotle to the 21st century scientists who map the human genome. He expertly weaves personal narratives into riveting discussions of the progress and pitfalls of science as researchers make discoveries, uncover new truths, and persist against challenges. His histories honestly present research and science as an ongoing process. He acknowledges past errors, traces their sources, and implicitly argues that research must continue, not only to alleviate suffering caused by disease, but also to alleviate suffering caused by incomplete understanding. This message was particularly meaningful to me, reminding me of my time spent as a hematology fellow at the NIH Clinical Center, taking care of cancer patients, when the understanding of the day was that the only way to cure cancer was to give the maximally tolerated dose of chemotherapy at whatever the short-term cost. Dr. Mukherjee's personal reflections speak to how easy it is to lose sight of what we don't know when we're on the front line trying to treat desperately ill patients. My father was well aware of these human limitations of medicine. I remember him telling me more than once that what he learned in medical school about heart disease had all turned out to be wrong. He also had a passion, my father, for caring for patients and believed teaching not just medical students but the public and patients was part of a doctor's role. Dr. Mukherjee exemplifies these same values through his books, through his oncology practice, and his research. He's improved care for hundreds of patients that he sees at his clinic in Columbia. And he has also been a tireless advocate for funding for research. He is a member of ACT for NIH and works to educate policymakers and the public about the importance of investing in biomedical research. He doesn't just advocate for and write about research. He's also pushing the boundaries of what we know about cancer and genetics in his lab at Columbia. His studies include looking at stem cells involved in bone growth, the effects of diet on the metabolism of cancer drugs, and engineered T cells. He's an exceptional choice to receive the award bearing my father's name. And this occasion also gives me a chance to thank him on behalf of all of his readers for his honest, thoughtful, and wise books. Please join my family and me in honoring Dr. Siddhartha Mukherjee.
Thank you so much. It gives me immense pleasure to accept this honor. I'm so humbled beyond words that I'll actually be brief. Perhaps there's only one skill that a scientist or a writer possesses, and that is the skill of resilience or of survivorship. I know of no other profession where an experimental failure of 90% over the course of a year or over a course of a decade is considered a particularly good year. or where burning the old draft of a book in a kitchen fire feels cathartically pleasurable. I've done both of those things. In the 1990s, I have a confession to make. I'm going off script here. I was a young physician scientist, a translation physician, and I was burnt out. I was burnt out to a point of time where I thought about leaving the profession. People don't talk about it. It's a kind of silent epidemic within our profession. We feel as if our powers have been removed from us, that we've been somehow moved to a place where we're dehumanized and we begin to treat the very people that we promised to treat as humans with disrespect and with the same kind of dehumanization. I felt that so strongly that I began to revolt against it. And my personal rebellion was to start writing. That was the basis of my first book, The Emperor of All Maladies. We need desperately to do something about the dehumanization and the burnout among researchers and physicians in the United States. This is a problem. I'm a young researcher. This is a problem that many of you sitting in extraordinarily powerful positions may or may not understand. Our troops feel withered. We need to do something about them. And if we don't do something about them, our national project of biomedical research will wither. We have to find a way to bring them alive again, and we have to do it quickly. So let me reflect a little on the idea of survivorship and resilience. In the 1940s, an Austrian neurologist and psychologist, Viktor Frankl, became preoccupied with the idea of, or the experience of survivorship. What allows some humans to acquire resilience in the face of the most brutal or dehumanizing experiences? Frankl, of course, had a very, very different experience. He had been sent to Auschwitz and then to Kaufering, a camp affiliated with Dachau. Frankl traced the roots of resilience it's very important, not to success or power, but to a sense of purpose and to the acquisition of meaning. Later writers, including Daniel Pink, expanded Frankl's concept of meaning along three dimensions: purpose, mastery, and autonomy. I want you to remember these three words: purpose, mastery, and autonomy. We acquire resilience when we find purpose in our work. We seek mastery, expertise, skills, commitment, recognition in our domain, and we need autonomy. We need independence in doing the things that we do. We are celebrating the 30th year of this remarkable organization, and it reminds me that one of the most potent values that scientific research enables is precisely these three things: the stewardship of meaning or purpose, mastery, and autonomy. Scientists and doctors exist because the world and because of organizations such as Research America and others that I'm part of, ACFRA, NIH is one of them, enable us. The NIH is one of them. The NIH is one of them. They enable us with meaning, with mastery and autonomy. I thank you all for everything that you're doing and you have done, but we need to put the spirit back into the esprit de corps. And I'm honored and indebted to you for recognizing my work. We have work to do in the years ahead. Thank you very much.